Good morning, Nerdviteria. I say good morning because as I record, it is just about 2 a.m. back in DC, despite the aggressively cheery sunrise shining in through that window. Looking out through the window, I'm seeing as much of Holland as I'm going to during my layover before I board the plane for Kenya. My little brother, Lucas, is feeling the wear of the long overnight flight. The puppy dog look in his eye here is only beaten by the look of incredulity and indignation he makes when he learns that Amsterdam is not, in fact, in Africa, and that yes, we would be boarding another plane shortly. Lucas isn't accustomed to the international travel yet, but that's not to say that I'm not feeling the wear of the trip either. I'm definitely far from my best. It's been a while since I've tackled a flight of this magnitude, and my dad pointed out that it's been 5 years since I've traveled through Europe, and the same amount of time since I've been to Africa. The time elapsed inevitably invites me to contrast past and present selves. To quote the immortal Van Houten, I seem so thin, so frail, so comparatively optimistic. And speaking of Van Houten, and warning, some Tifio spoilers follow, I can't help but think of Hazel and Augustus flying into Amsterdam just as I am. The fact that, they got to stay, and that they were in the process of living one of the great young romances of our generation, while I was just passing through with my dad and brother, didn't do much to halt my amazement at being able to walk in their fictional footsteps. Not to mention John Green's rather less fictional feat. How many times must he have passed through here? John's writing has always favored road trips, and so, I think, by extension, travelers and wanderers. I can't help but feel a certain connectedness to him and to other travelers from sharing this crossroads as our different paths diverge. I guess I never thought about this stuff back when I traveled a bit more frequently. Though I'm restricted to the airport, there's still plenty to be experienced. The cultural differences are well illustrated by our short stop for a meal, when Lucas calls, "No, Dad, that isn't a McDonald's." "Oh." It doesn't really look like one, and I understand his confusion. There are yet further differences, like the hilarious pretense of serving healthful foods for one, and the wonderful smoothness of their tabletops for another, which I am not afraid to admit I had a bit too much fun with. Coupled with their miraculous ability to utilize wind power from the inside, and a strange desire to bring some semblance of nature to the airport, I could definitely tell that I was not in Kansas anymore. I did try to look for some common links between our cultures, though, and I wasn't just looking for differences. I had a chance to peruse the shops and poked my head into a bookstore, disappointed to find not a single copy of Tiffios, despite the airport's short cameo in it. I did find the Hunger Games, though, so that's good. Anyway, thank you for listening to my confused and sleep-deprived ramblings, and please forgive my presumption for attempting a Thoughts from Places vlog. I'll be in touch. By the way, I also had the chance to teach my brother some new tricks. Hey Lucas. Hey Lucas. Hatfield.
Record.